Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Jason and welcome to Jay's Retro Reactions. So I started this channel because I thought it might be fun to rewatch some of the childhood favourites that I really enjoyed when I was young. Stuff like the original Battlestar Galactica, Buck Rogers, V, A-Team, Airwolf, all of those shows basically. So anything really from the late 70s, 80s and 90s, the things I would have watched as a kid. So the first one I'm going to watch in this video is Buck Rogers in the 21st century, something I literally haven't seen in about 40 years. So actually kind of really excited to see what this is like. So yeah, thank you for joining me and let's get on with the very first episode of Buck Rogers in the 25th century. Okay, so this is done by Glenn Larson, who also did Battlestar Galactica.
In the year 1987, NASA launched the last of America's deep space probes.
I do remember this opening screen, because I remember I watched this on a black and white TV when I was a kid, and the sound of space stuff was really exciting.
Ranger 3 was blown out of its planned trajectory in an orbit which was to return the ship not in 5 months, but in 500 years.
Okay, so he was frozen in space. Okay.
Will I be? Where am I going? And what will I see?
Very 70s disco effects, which I thought were so cool as a kid. The theme tune, I remember this.
Or just something I dream.
Okay, so he's frozen in space for 500 years. And some chick hits on him while he's still unconscious. Definitely wouldn't get away with that today. The one thing I do remember about this show was the robot and Tweaky. He used to go middy or something like that. And then there was doctors. There was a doctor as well. Wasn't there a doctor robot? I think.
Will it be?
Oh, hello.
Just all in my mind.
Telling you, Buck looked out going 500 years into the future the way things are looking. He definitely looked out. Like, that's about 3 different women who are just cavorting in front of him for absolutely no reason, because in the 70s and 80s you didn't need a reason to have women in scantily clad costumes cavorting in front of men. Oh god.
Clear all launch channels for attack.
The fact that you couldn't stay frozen in space for 500 years obviously is not essential. But it's sci-fi and I don't care because I loved this as a kid. Just that magic of being an astronaut in space with aliens. Oh, who's this?
Wait!
Ominous sounding music.
Envelop alien ship in force field and prepare for boarding the Draconia.
The force field. Every alien ship in the sci-fi, the 70s, 80s and 90s had force fields. Not something you really see anymore actually in the modern sci-fi. Wonder why that is. If you know, let me know in the comments please guys.
Increased Diogen and crystalline in proportion.
Heart lung response up, 0.2 and increasing.
There you go, Buck. Wake up. As implausible as that is, he is.
Frozen solid in the year 1987.
Are you telling me
That the man may be 500 years old.
you're serious?
Yes.
Okay, was this lady in Battlestar Galactica the original one? And also, she's an evil princess. I'm happy to be evil.
Preserved young or preserved old?
Very young.
Is it just me, or were the women back then more beautiful? Less of the Oompa Loompa orange tango thing going on, definitely anyway.
Well, I've never met a 500-year-old man. Prepare him for an audience.
I'm afraid he's liable to be not too coherent.
Yeah, you're not going to be too coherent after being frozen for 500 years in space, alright?
Give him something for his discomfort.
Not a bad thing to wake up to after 500 years.
What is this place?
That's Ming the Merciless, Flash Gordon.
Where am I?
That's what this reminds me of. Flash Gordon.
You were aboard the King's flagship, Draconia.
You mean you guys aren't from Earth?
Most human-looking aliens I've ever seen.
Yes, ma'am.
Give it to him.
What is that? Oh.
There must be some good stuff to get Buck, because he seems happy out.
Are you a real live princess?
He's definitely gone.
Given our captain a little too much medication.
No, I feel great.
Great. He gets out of space after being frozen for 500 years, gets cavorted upon by beautiful women, then meets the beautiful evil princess, and gets given free drugs. Buck's having a very good day, I'll be honest.
Then I'm to assume that I may dispose of Captain Rogers as I see fit.
How you handle security is your prerogative.
Tiger Man is definitely a copy of Ming the Merciless and Flash Gordon, and Princess Adela is definitely a copy of Ming the Merciless' daughter in Flash Gordon. Because she was also young and beautiful and alluring and sided with the good guy, so yep. Definite analogies here.
What a layout, wow!
Buck is still gone.
Say, that's a coincidence. You know I got a ship just like this?
Disconnect the medication.
Oh, don't do that. I really love that.
I'm sure you do, Buck.
We'll be on your way very shortly.
Great. Where are we going?
You're going home.
Great. Where's that?
On Earth.
All right.
Yeah. Earth.
Seems like I haven't been there in weeks. Whoa.
Yeah, Buck, take it easy there, mate. Just had a bit of the old H.
Bye-bye. Boy, what a dream this is.
Ah, so Buck thinks he's dreaming. You ain't dreaming, mate. Bye-bye.
3, 2, 1,
That launch is definitely Battlestar Galactica. I mean, 100%. They obviously reached the sets from Battlestar Galactica for this.
I've hidden a microtransmitter aboard Captain Rogers' ship. That guide map would be used by your father's attack forces to pour through their defense shield.
Ah, the evil plan is afoot.
You don't look very pleased.
Of course I'm pleased.
No, she's not.
Feeling I'm going to see Captain Rogers again.
Somehow I get that feeling too. There's obviously a love interest there. If I do remember, she is a rival love interest with Erin Gray. I think, if I remember from when I was 7.
We are approximately... They do things they don't do on old Broadway.
Buck singing away.
This isn't an echo, sir. It's a voice. A strong voice. It's singing.
Singing.
Yes.
It always amazes me how they think humans will dress in the future in the 80s and 70s.
I've been gone the whole night long.
There you go, Buck.
Hey, come on, you turkeys, get off your duffs and give me some info.
Practically a foreign language.
Buck is going to get vaporized by Earth's defense shield.
Colonel Deering, what are the coordinates?
Wilma Deering. That was her name. I love how the graphics on the radar aren't very advanced for 2587. Very 8-bit.
Do you have manual override capabilities?
Sure.
Then follow me very closely.
Be right on your tail.
The double entendre there, kind of obvious. I'm sure he will be writing on her tail, yeah. Good man, Buck. I'm sure most of that went over my head as a kid.
Gotta be the Russians.
You're doing just fine.
That's Sudania.
Exactly, it's the Russians.
Wait till the guys at the Cape hear this. Buck Rogers sits down in the middle of Red Square.
And also showing the aliens the way into Earth and through the defenses.
Air Control 1 to act.
Some nice early green screen footage there. It's amazing actually that we can produce a better effect at home nowadays than what they were able to do then.
Hey, babe, this is quite a setup.
It's Colonel Deering, commander of Earth's defenses.
Mean you're in charge of all this?
Hey, babe. Oh, so 80s.
Take this barbarian in for interrogation.
What?
Oh, Buck, you got a lot to learn. Wait till you hear about being cancelled and trans rights and TERFs and pansexuals and non-binary and all this other stuff, mate.
Well, what is happening? Look, if I'm dead, I obviously didn't make it to heaven, so just what planet is this?
What planet? Oh, it's Earth, of course.
This is funnier than I remember, I'll be honest.
Allow me to bring in my administrator, Dr. Theophilus. Tweaky, would you bring in Dr. Theophilus, please?
This is the robot doctor, Dr. Theophilus. And Tweaky. I remember Tweaky. And the doctor is the thing hanging around his neck. There he is. Midi.
If I were you, I'd check into whoever's programming that thing.
Captain Rogers, it is we on the council who do the programming.
Exactly, Buck.
These quads are not programmed by man. They've been programmed by one another over the generations. You see, the mistakes that we have made in areas, well, like our environment, have been entirely turned over to them.
Okay, interesting concept for the time. You had AI, programming AI, which is definitely where we're headed, and you had an environment that was in ruins that was fixed by the AI, which is quite a possibility today as well. Okay, so good forward thinking there by the writers.
Now run along, Tweaky, and get Captain Rogers his drink.
Exactly, Twiggy. Make it a whiskey sour.
What an attractive man you are, Captain Buck Rogers.
Now look.
Okay. Oh, Buck just tried to hit on Buck. Okay.
It appears you have returned to Earth 504 years later. You are now in the 25th century.
There you go, Buck. 504 years into the future, mate.
I think I will have a drink now.
L'chaim. It's a Jewish robot. What is that green stuff, by the way?
He's only one man. What can he possibly do to endanger our people?
He could attempt to discredit the treaty with Draconia.
So the evil aliens are called the Draconians. Very good play on words there.
I have no objections.
And the captain belongs to me until I expose him.
I'm sure Buck wants to be exposed by you, Miss Wilma Dearden. Curling Wilma Dearden, excuse me. I'm sure Buck is really looking forward to being exposed by you. Monorail from The Simpsons. They finally built the monorail.
What's it like on the outside?
You wouldn't like it.
Radiation?
In some places. Ruins and scorched earth.
Okay. There was a nuclear holocaust, I presume, that wiped out most of the earth.
Where are you going, Captain?
I'm going to look around the city.
I can't let you go.
You'll have to shoot me to stop me, Colonel.
You leave me little choice.
She'll shoot you, Buck. No doubt about it. I don't think she has much time for you.
You didn't have to come with me, Theo.
I wanted to be with you, Buck. I wish you'd listen to reason.
And there's their Planet of the Apes nuclear wasteland.
Why don't we stay here for the night?
Oh, I'm afraid we'd freeze to death.
Please tell me there's going to be mutants. There's a nuclear wasteland. There has to be mutants. I don't remember mutants, but there has to be.
No one forced me into your camp. I believed in you, and I still do.
What'd he say?
You don't want to know.
Yeah, that doctor has a crush on you, Buck. Definitely 100%. He's hitting on you. He's giving you compliments, man. He trusts you implicitly for no reason.
You guys go back. I can put up with whatever's out there if it helps me to find what happened to my people.
I'm with you, Buck.
Ah, a gay robot doctor. Mutants! I knew it! How is it that mutants always decay into these, like, underground savages after a nuclear wasteland? They retain no intelligence, technological ability, or just want to eat human flesh.
What'd he say?
You don't want to know.
Stop saying I don't want to know. I want to know.
I want to know too, Buck. What's he saying?
He thinks we're being watched.
It's just his imagination. Come on.
He thinks we're being watched with all the banging, and Buck just thinks it's his imagination. Okay. Buck isn't the brightest spark in the books, is he?
My gold circuits and parts bring a lot of money on the black market. As for Tweaky, well, I hate to tell you the use they'll put him to, Buck.
Tweaky's going to be a sex robot if he's captured. How? I don't see any holes. I love this. This is so funny. Again, obviously most of the stuff wouldn't have registered me as a 7-year-old, but this is brilliant.
Come on.
And again, why do the mutants never have ray guns or laser guns like the rest of the people? They always have spears and axes and crap that they just put together like cavemen. Even run like cavemen. Planet of the Apes. Tweaky, you'd want to run faster than that, mate. If you're going to be a sex robot, if they catch you, I'd be running a hell of a lot faster than that. I presume they'd have to bore holes into Tweaky to use him for what they want to use him for.
Don't think thoughts like that. You'll run down your batteries.
Tweaky, you're going to run down your batteries if you imagine all the raping you're going to get from these mutants. A fair enough position to have, Tweaky.
This is where my parents are buried. Well, at least I know part of it.
We can't stay long, Buck. We're being followed.
Okay, so 500 years into the future, where only a few managed to get buried in the Holocaust. Buck's family got buried, and he just happened to stumble exactly on that one miraculous gravestone. Okay.
The past is gone, but you can still help us with our future.
Won't be a future if horny mutants get you. They definitely sound horny.
Look out!
Some 70s, 80s kung fu style fighting. Come on, Buck. Take them all.
You dirty.
That's it, Tweaky. You're not going to turn me into a sex robot, mate. Those mutants are determined to get their hands on Tweaky. And I notice they're all men. There's no female mutants. No wonder they need Tweaky as a sex robot.
Let's get out of here.
Exactly, Tweaky. You need to get out of there, mate. There's a lot of horny mutants. Laser ship to the rescue. Oh, sorry, laser vehicle, laser tank. And mutants obviously have no civil rights in the future. It's just blast them for fun. Because they want to turn all of your robots into sex robots. Which obviously is not allowed. And goes against the robot civil rights because the mutants have none. Which makes total sense.
Captain, I came to find you at some personal risk.
Very ballsy.
Very what?
Very ballsy, Miss Theory.
Well, at least Tweaky's on my side.
He is on your side. You saved him from being raped by a million horny mutants.
Then it's true, he is working for the pirates.
I still don't believe it.
A micro-transmitter was attached to his navigational equipment.
The draconian transmitter. So now they think he's one of them.
You're being subjective in your evaluation of Buck Rogers. I, on the other hand, support him.
At least the doctor's on Buck's side. Princess Abdullah. Having a nice, relaxing bath and a glass of wine. As an evil princess has to do to unwind in the evening. Very Roman, actually, in style, isn't it?
Now stop worrying about the trial. I'm a member of the council, and I'm going to defend you personally.
Exactly. Theo loves you, Buck. He's going to defend you and your right to live without question. And Tweaky owes you his virginity.
Distinguished colleagues, you have heard the evidence, and I challenge you to find this man guilty. No evidence has been found to suggest his claim to a birthright on this planet.
So Theo's whole defense is that you have no evidence that I like, and therefore the man is innocent. Not a very good defense now, in fairness.
Have you any last words before we pass judgment?
Oh, he's already asking him to give his last words before he passes sentence, yeah. I really need to hear what that sentence is, as if I can't guess.
I can do you no more harm, no matter what the outcome today. But he or she could destroy you.
Oh, so he knows it was the Princess Ardella who set him up.
Very nice, Buck. We don't have a thing to worry about.
Yep, you need to be worried. I'm very worried.
The council finds for the state.
What a surprise after that robust defense.
Your life is to be terminated. Said termination to be carried out immediately.
Immediate termination. Nice. Wilma doesn't look too happy though. That AI isn't as smart as, is he, Dr. Theo? His love for Buck is obviously clouding his judgment.
Well, you see, I'm scheduled for termination. If I miss it, I might get in a lot of trouble.
Yes. That's very, very, very clever, Buck.
Are you offering me termination of my termination, or are you just postponing it?
If you can prove that your story is true.
Then what are you going to get, Buck? What's Wilma offering? More than termination of the termination? Looks like it to me, the way she looked at him.
Lost nearly a third of our ships in this vector to pirates. When they hit fast. You can't outfly the computer. It'll take any necessary...
Again, a Battlestar Galactica steering control. 100%. So this is definitely made after Battlestar Galactica. The sounds of the spaceship flying are the same as well. They sound like the Vipers from Battlestar Galactica, the original. Even the evil sounds of the aliens are like the Battlestar Galactica sounds.
Let's prepare a very special welcome for them.
Very special welcome. Okay, what's that going to be? Pirates. She's going to send them pirates to welcome them. So the pirates work for the Draconians. Got it. So it's a way of waging war against Earth without waging war against Earth.
Draconia, envoy of Draco, conqueror of space.
What an outfit. That's all I'm going to say. What an outfit. Not very warming.
I don't believe we've had the pleasure.
I think you're mistaken, Princess. I never forget a knuckle.
He never forgets a knuckle. Great.
All personnel to defense posts.
Men, to your ships!
Alert station!
So the Draconians are attacking their own ship with the pirates to make it look like Earth couldn't protect them and start the war that they want. Now they have the coordinates to get in to the Earth's defense shield. Clever. Evil, but clever. Again, the sounds are just like Battlestar Galactica fighter launches.
That way you're diving right into his power.
The explosions in the battle scenes look like Battlestar Galactica as well, the original. They must have reused a lot of the sets and sound effects, have to have. Given it was written by Glenn A. Larson as well, I presume so.
Lieutenant Rather, disregard. Captain Rogers, get off the air. Our combat computers are way ahead of you.
So Buck is going to be smarter than the combat computers. And he's going to be a combat genius in a ship with technology he's never flown before.
Colonel, I'm switching to manual. See if I can start dishing out a little of what we've been taking.
Buck Rogers, I'm ordering you back to the base.
And there we go, Buck being an ace pilot in something he's never flown before. Naturally. 4 kills, straight off, fully expected.
Colonel, take it down, straight down, then hit your retros.
I can't. It's against old principles of modern aerial combat.
Well, man, he's just taking out for the enemy on his own. I'd listen to him.
Look, I don't know what went wrong with our combat computers, but thank you.
They weren't Buck, that's what went wrong.
Let's go home.
My place or yours?
What?
Fair play, Buck. Still trying to get the move on.
Well, the Princess feels he single-handedly saved their unarmed vessel from the renegade pirates and wants to thank him personally.
So Princess Ardella is going to save Buck.
Princess Ardella wants to thank you personally for fighting the pirates off her ship.
I'd like to have a word or two with her myself.
I'm sure you would, Buck. Definitely alone. Again, wonderful outfit choice by Princess Ardella. I must say the fashion in the future is quite interesting. Very tribal meets stripper look. The tribal with the horns and the stripper part is kind of self-evident, I think. Yeah, all the guys are going to be heartily clapping for a girl in that outfit no matter what she's offering. I think she could probably offer death. They'd still clap. Synth pop. The music of the future is bad synth pop.
For your headache, it's a very strong relaxant. You mustn't take more than one at a time.
It's Rohypnol. Dr. Teal's just given Buck Rohypnol. And he's going to give the Rohypnol to Princess Ardella. Oh god, this show was not allowed to be made today.
Tweaky, would you go get me one quickly, huh?
He needs a rose to go with the Rohypnol, Dr. Teal. That he's going to give to Princess Ardella. I'm going to drug you, but here's a rose. I'm a nice guy.
Congratulations, and thank you. We're very grateful to you for saving us from those horrible privateers.
Yes, and now Buck is going to slip you the Rohypnol to make up for it.
On behalf of the
computer... What a body.
The robot's hitting on Princess Ardella. Oh my god. Oh. What's this dancing with the ball thing? What's that all about?
Sir, excuse me. Are you familiar with rock? You know,
Some rap music. Here we go. Good choice, Buck. Okay, what are we going to get here? Disco pop. The dancing ain't up to much, I have to say.
Rosie, get down.
Tweaky's got moves, man. Tweaky's got moves.
Captain Rogers, I wonder if this wouldn't be a good time to talk with you.
Is Wilma jealous?
You don't have any plans, do you?
Well...
Good. I have something I would like to say.
That sounds very suggestive, Wilma. Here we go. Buck is the man. Actually, I wonder is the name Buck meant to be a double entendre? because it rhymes a lot with another word, which would be appropriate here. Begins with F, in case you haven't worked that out yourself.
Would you like to go someplace?
I'm not up to that yet.
He's suffering a few libido issues.
500 years. I've got to go easy on re-entry.
Go easy on re-entry. I love it. These jokes are classic. They're absolutely classic. It's like a Carry On, if you know the Carry On films. It's like a Carry On sci-fi.
Now listen to her, fella. She's making sense.
I've asked Captain Rogers to join us.
Oh, so he dumped Wilma to get with a princess. Got it.
Tweaky, I'm speaking to you.
Oh, freezing my ball bearings off.
He's freezing his ball bearings off. I love these jokes, man. I forgot this. I'm sure I didn't understand any of this as a kid, as I said before.
Out.
They make better pets if you have them fixed.
Get him spayed. I like it, Buck. Rohypnol, not good, Buck. Not good, man.
You've nothing to say.
Up until this moment, I didn't know what it was I'd been missing.
I'd have a lot to say if I was in that situation.
You're arrogant. You flagrantly disregard orders. And you're the kind of man who could unseat my father.
Okay, so she wants Buck to overthrow the father so she can take control.
But with a man. A real man like yourself. I could defy my father.
So what they're saying is, in the future, men are not going to be like they were in the past. Kinda true. There goes the Rohypnol.
I'm so relaxed. Would you turn out the lights?
I'm sure you are relaxed after that dose of Rohypnol. That would relax anyone, and not in a good way. The soldiers look like they're Mongols, the uniforms. The Genghis Khan Mongol type uniform, which is, I'm sure, where they took it from.
The pirate ships. So that's how they were able to attack us.
So Buck has uncovered the dastardly plot. It's like Assassin's Creed. You do the whistle, attract the enemy, get rid of him. Again, Buck being very predictive.
Get him out! Get him out! Execute him!
Yep, that's definitely not Buck. And now she thinks that Taco Man, or whatever he's called, Rohypnol'd her and had his way with her.
Well, it's not Gucci, but what the hell?
I must say, like, honestly, in terms of the acting, right, let's not pretend it's like out of this world or something great, but the guy who plays Buck Rogers, I must look him up, I don't know his name, but he plays him very like Roger Moore in the Roger Moore James Bonds, you know, kind of cheeky, kitschy, cheesy, but like deliberately so.
By the time my father forces arrive, we'll be sitting on the throne of the earth. At least I will, since you obviously don't have the nerve.
She has big ambitions, no doubt about that.
Hostile intruder report ship. Alert! Alert! Alert!
That guy doing the alarm sounds like he's half asleep. Alert! Alert! Hostile intruder. I can't be arsed, but you be arsed.
Now this'll warm your tail.
Again, brilliant joke. Totally crap, but brilliant because it's so crap. This will warm your tail.
6 minutes to attack and counting.
See, this guy is almost dead, like dead from sleep. 6 minutes and counting. We think for a vicious invading alien force, they would have got a guy that's kind of more evil or at least awake.
You recognize these ships?
No, but I don't see how that's very important.
Pirate ships.
Why would there be pirate ships aboard a Draconian flagship?
For an advanced AI, he's a bit thick.
There are no pirate ships, there never were. Those are Draconian bombers disguised as marauders.
This advanced AI is not really advanced. Maybe he has learning difficulties. Machine learning difficulties.
Take me over to the console, Tweaky. Now, grab the middle panel.
Why is it in the 70s that they thought all future electronics are just going to be loads of flashing lights? Because when I watch Battlestar Galactica or this or any of those kind of 70s, early 80s shows, they think all computers and machines are just going to be a load of flashing lights. Must be the disco era. Little disco balls and everything, I don't know.
Scramble your fighter squadrons. Now, at once.
Thank you, Doctor. Good luck.
Come on, Wilma, believe them. That's it, Wilma. Come on, save the day, Colonel Deering.
Fighters, prepare to launch.
Well, all their tails are going to be warm. We know that from what Buck said. There he goes. Tails warmed. Again with the 70s and 80s, whether it's action movies or sci-fi, whenever there's an explosion, people seem to just leap like about 20 yards in the air and then roll forward. You don't really see that anymore either, thank God. One more tail to warm. Come on, Buck. Warm that ass. Takaman ain't happy. He's been framed for hypnoling the princess. Buck, ain't gonna take him down that way.
I'm gonna hold you responsible for any damage done to this bay.
Oh, that's right, Buck. That will always sort out a guy no matter what his size. And he's going to warm his tail as well.
All squadrons disengage surviving warships and prepare to finish off the mother craft.
What about the princess? You're going to get blasted in the first episode? I don't think so, because I think I remember seeing her more or less throughout what I watched as a kid.
I have an emergency escape shuttle ready to leave now. It'll take us far enough away to reach your father's ships.
Yeah, she's too hot to die this early. She has to get out.
The ship is ready to blow!
Theo, I'm coming in to get you and Tweaky.
Forget us. Save Buck.
Yeah, if Tweaky and Theo are advanced AI, why would they need saving? Surely they have backups and can just be re-uploaded. But I suppose this is back in the early days of computers and backups to tape are probably just beginning or so. I don't know. Bit of a plot hole though. For advanced AI.
Taxi cab. Taxi.
Taxi cab. Good man, Tweaky. Always time for a cheesy joke. So the team got out and escaped and saved the day.
We would be rulers of Earth now if you hadn't let Buck Rogers on board.
He wouldn't have been necessary if you were more of a man.
So the princess is basically slagging off Kane, saying, you know, I needed someone else, man. You weren't ready to step up to the plate and do the business that was required, so don't complain to me.
We'll see when we meet Mr. Rogers again. And we will.
I hope so.
The princess is a thing for Buck, and it ain't going away. Well, that's it, folks. End of the first episode of Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. So what are my thoughts? I really enjoyed that. Not in the same way I would have as a kid, obviously, where I was just looking at the special effects and the lasers and the spaceships and all that stuff, which seemed really cool, but it's still really enjoyable to watch, and I'm actually surprised because it's really funny, and there was obviously a lot of adult humour in it that I wouldn't have gotten when I would have watched this way back in the early 80s. A lot of the adult humour is probably not appropriate for today's television. I wouldn't have a chance of getting made, but to me, actually, that makes it a bit better because there's too much woke stuff for me in modern TV, and I really like that, you know, this is almost a time capsule of what it was like. Well, it is a time capsule of what it was like back then. For example, like rohypnoling the princess. There's no way that would get on TV today. All the women basically chasing after Buck, who's your traditional macho man. Again, you wouldn't get that on TV today. The double entendres were very evident throughout the episode. In terms of the acting, I spoke about it a little bit already in the episode that I think, and again, I need to look up the guy's name. I'm recording on my phone, so I can't look it up now. He played it, as I said, the lead character Buck. Very like Roger Moore played James Bond. Very cheesy, very over the top, deliberately so, very kitschy, because that was the time period. And I think he knew that this wasn't a serious role. And I think the show definitely doesn't take itself too serious. You can see that from the mutants trying to turn the Tweaky into a sex robot, the double entendres which I spoke about, and basically just ripping off Flash Gordon and Battlestar Galactica in several different ways, and multiple probably other sci-fi shows that I'm not aware of. Characters that I like, obviously Buck, Tweaky, Dr. Theo, Wilma and the Princess, Kane makes a good villain. I do recognise that actor, but again, from like westerns back in the day, I think, and kind of crime series as well, or crime movies. He was always the bad guy. I have to look up his name as well later on. Special effects, for the day, to be honest, they're not too bad. Again, as I mentioned during my commentary, they obviously reused a lot of effects from Battlestar Galactica. The sound effects of the ships, the sound effects of in space, the sound effects of the ships taking off from the launch tubes, the throttle, the thrusters and the lasers, all taken from Battlestar Galactica, the original series. But yeah, really enjoyed it. Definitely want to continue and see how it develops, because I really don't remember the storyline. It's so long ago since I watched it. But yeah, really enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed it too. It's my first video that I've ever done on YouTube, so apologies if I wasn't looking at the camera enough, or, you know, if I was a little bit nervous. Should get better as time goes on, get used to this. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the reaction too, and if you did, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. If you're interested in buying the box set, I've left a link to Amazon in the video description. Costs you nothing extra to use that link, but you know, it helps my channel, helps me buy equipment, helps me buy more DVDs. Also, if you have any recommendations of retro shows you would like me to react to, please leave them below. Ones on my list already, just so you're aware, are Battlestar Galactica, the original series, North and South, if you remember that miniseries, was one of the biggest things of the 80s. I remember loving that as a kid. V, the original series. Probably going to do Band of Brothers, because it's from the 90s as well, and The Sopranos, because it's from the 90s, which is my time period, 70s, 80s and 90s. Is there anything else on my list? Twin Peaks as well. But yeah, whatever your favourite show was from the 70s, 80s or 90s, movie as well, is fine. Let me know, because as I said, I want this channel to be stuff that I really loved looking at as a kid and as a teenager, and I want to re-experience those memories and see if those movies and TV shows are as good as I remember, if they hold up over time, or, you know, is there stuff I get in them now like this that I wouldn't have gotten when I originally watched them as a child or a young teenager. So yeah, that's it from me. Listen folks, thanks for joining me, and thanks for, you know, watching my first ever video on YouTube, and I look forward to you coming back and joining me for the rest of Buck Rogers. See you soon, take care, bye.